Welcome back to the studio. It's a Friday. I've just finished Pilates and I feel like doing this new kind of Zentangle that you might have seen, this one. People have been saying it looks like a fantasy map and that is so cool, I love that. So let's make a fantasy map tangle using what you see here. I also did something new today and I made my latte with half chocolate milk, half vanilla milk, and it's very good if you want a little treat for yourself. So how this works is I made a watercolor background. We're gonna do this all together. If you'd like to do it at the same time, that'd be fun. Watercolor background, acrylic abstract on top, which can be done in lots of different ways. I've done it with a palette knife, which I'll just show you. Looks like this. That's how I do my abstract pieces for my abstract body of work like this, which we'll get to. Couple layers of that, and then the Zentangling part comes in when I used a teeny tiny little micro brush, one like this, and traced all the edges around the acrylic paint as our kind of zoning and zen out time. And it's great because with the regular Zentangles, which I'll also pull up while we're here, there's a lot of focus on like the space between the lines and kind of the exact shape, like, okay, it's a raindrop, and then kind of, this isn't how it's meant to be, but I think this can sometimes happen, is like the pressure to make it another larger triangle, for example. And so this, let's call them fantasy mapped Zentangles, I guess. Let me know what you think. Is great because we're not trying to do anything in particular. We're just going around this edge, and the acrylic has a raised edge. So it's kind of a natural barrier. So it's a much different kind of feeling, but it's the same intention of getting out of your head, doing something creative and just making lines. And I don't even know how to put it into English or any other language, but it just makes you feel good. So that's what we're gonna do today, step by step. There is some drying time involved with this, so we're gonna kind of stop and start, but that's cool. So here's some examples of ones I've made. You might have seen this one, and then these were ones I made kind of over the summer and fall. I really like this blue one. This is my favorite, but I was just experimenting with different types of layers of things. So this one, quite chaotic, but fun. I would do, you might be able to tell. So under I did the light blue acrylic first, and then I traced the outline in a light orange. Then I did the red, did that in a yellow, the outline there. Then we did the pink, I did that in a blue, and then we did the really light pink, which kind of looks white, and I did that in or did I do that? I didn't do that actually. So a lot of steps, whereas this one was just yellow background, two different colors of acrylic, single line, like this. I also really love this one, which is very simple, and I just realized not finished, but this one is different because it has a bit of a texture in the background where the others were just a solid color, and then like just lots and lots of time-consuming detail here. I must have just kind of got tired of it, and I forgot about it till right now, so I'll finish that one day, maybe. My point is, there's so many different ways to do this. You can control how many layers, you can control the colors, you can control the complexity in the background, all kinds of stuff. So let's pop those up here. Oh, you might notice this is flimsier than all these. That's because I used different paper. So for this, I used a Canson mixed media sketchbook paper, which is fab, but it is kind of like sketchy paper. It's not kind of high quality finished. I mean, it's high quality. I love it and use it all the time, but for this type of paint, it doesn't hold as well. These ones are just much, and they are this Fluid 100 watercolor paper, hot press finish, 8x10, 300 GSM, 100% cottons. And I love this because I sometimes keep some little ideas in here, I guess. They come in this nice folder, and oh, I guess we're using the last one. These are part of some sketches I did. Let me put this away and deal with that at some point. Never be shy to use your last piece of something because we can always get more, and it's better to get the idea out than hold it in. I'm gonna have a sip of my half mocha. So for colors, I also tried to do a little bit of a different color scheme on each of these, as you can see. This is an example of an abstract painting that I did. The abstracts are a body of work I have where I work one-on-one with my clients to pull the exact colors they want to convey a certain feeling in their home. So a lot of people will go for serenity in the bedroom or boldness in the living room or all kinds of stuff. And the colors are specifically pulled from parts of their life. So it might be that this orange is specifically from their bridesmaid dresses or, you know, anything. And it also goes with their home. So I like work one-on-one with them to see the space, see what would go, and it's just a fun little process. This one I actually made for my mom in 2020, and she didn't give me anything to do or any direction. I just made it for her. I really like the size. It's just cute. It's perfect for like that funny skinny wall area. And she loves gardens, and she also loves red, and this is an orangey red, but I thought I would just kind of take a summery garden lush energy kind of early evening and turn that into a painting. And so that's what I made for her. It's now mine, but that's okay. We're gonna use it to inspire us today. So yes, colors. What I was on about is I kind of want to use this as the inspiration for the colors we're gonna use today in this one. What side of the paper do we want to use? Oh no. There's one that you're really supposed to use, and I don't remember what it is, so we're just gonna do this side, I guess. Have you seen that meme that's like, I'm really chill, and then in the background you're just always adjusting things to be perfect? Probably not that funny if you haven't seen it, but I have. Okay, so what I'm thinking is I want to make the background portion, so where this is pink and light blue, a mixture of light green. So I did this light green, this slightly darker. There's also a bit of turquoise in there. That was the first layer, but I think I did, oh, this is an easy way to see it, an ombre of light green to slightly deeper green. And I don't want to do exactly that. I kind of want to do something a bit more like this actually, but we're just going to pull from that as our inspiration. Sometimes if I don't know what colors to use, I'll find a photo I really like. So either something that I took or something from Pinterest or another work of art I'm inspired by, and I will kind of pull like 6 or something of those colors that I like and use that as my base palette. So we're going to use this palette that I still don't know the name of because I like this and this. And then pretty similar, but a little different. This is the Kuretake Gansai Tambi 12 in my Amazon shop. It lives, and I'm gonna use this color too, just for a little variety. So we're gonna have this here for reference. I'm gonna put this here so I can use it, and hopefully you can see this is not straight at all, but you know what, it's okay. Oh, for brush, I'm using the 20 Raphael. I don't really know. Looks like this, just anything big. Like you could do this, you could do this. This is my paintbrush pot. I'm feeling this one today. There's no right or wrong. So, okay, we're finally getting started after a sip of coffee. On Fridays, I'm allowed 2 coffees. Okay, so gonna activate our paint, and I'm just gonna be super, I don't even know, just make something. Like, no, remember, we're not trying to convey an image. This is gonna be abstract. We're trying to convey a feeling. I'm gonna pick up some of this one. Let's see how some, oh, an eyelash, make a wish. Okay, it's similar, but it's not exactly the same, which is good. pull it up into there a little bit. My brush is very wet. I'm gonna move into this turquoise. That's nice. It's definitely giving spring. It's meant to be 80 degrees here on Sunday, which is pretty crazy. I'm definitely going to the pool. Okay. So the edges, what you could do always is tape the edges and make them really crisp. Let me find an example of that. We made this on a video together, you might remember that. But I taped them so they're like this. Here, I don't really want to do that because I kind of like just the everything nature of this, and I feel like the uncrispy edges will play into that. So that's my thought process there, but obviously you can do whatever you like. So now that this is done, the next step is simply to let it dry, and then we're gonna come back and start to do our layering. So this is now the time for you to keep working on yours if you are doing one, and it's the time for me to pause this, feed my baby foster kittens, and come back when it's dry. Actually, I'll also just set a reminder that you can cover this page in any way that you like. So I've kind of done like a stripy ombre, but you can do splotches or blobs. Like, I'm just gonna show you one other technique that's kind of fun. This is a really sploshy brush, and you could, while it's wet, dab around and make a texture with the dry brush, or you could wet it, kind of just add bits of color around. I kind of want to give this like a natural planty feeling. This kind of looks like bushes or something maybe, and see how down here it's still wet and up here it's dry, and how the paint has reacted really differently. Just cool. Stages like this in a piece are a really good time to experiment, because remember, this is going to be in the background, right? Like, let's take this one for example. What even was the background? I don't know. I really don't know. I guess it might have just been white. I don't know. But the point is, we don't want to focus too much on every single element, because it's the feeling that all brings together. And so the feeling I'm going for is a nice, luscious little springtime garden. Okay, gonna go for real. All right, it's been about 30 minutes and I'm happy with this dryness level. There's a little bit of moisture still in that corner, but I don't imagine us hitting that with the palette knife, so we'll be okay. But see how this is dried? This definitely looks like a nice little field. Construction pause. Whereas this has really bled. I think it's really cool. So that's ready to go. You know what is so rude is me mentioning baby kittens and then not showing them to you. So let's not do that. We're gonna put them right over here. Baby kittens need to be on a heat pad, but I just washed this and it's very warm, and we're just gonna be here for a moment. This is Raindrop and Drop Top, and they're so cute, I can't bear it. This is Raindrop. She has a little raindrop on her paw. They are 2 weeks old today, Drop Top, and they're sisters. I am fostering them through Rory to the Rescue, which is how I got Parmesan. Okay. You guys gotta stay still though, because I don't wanna get paint on your little bodies. When I first got Parmesan, she got stuck in my, I turned my head for 5 minutes, she got her face stuck in some blue paint, and it was this whole nightmare. So anyways, you guys, you're gonna stay over there. They'll fall asleep in a second. Meanwhile, we are gonna do some layers. So let's look at the colors we've got going on here. I've pulled a few acrylics that I wanna use. Drop Top, where are you going? I was thinking what could be kind of cool is to do one layer with this, just so there's a little bit more texture, but TBD. For this blue, I forget exactly what I used. It's not quite an ultramarine like this. But I do love ultramarine. This one's a little kind of heavier in color, so we might do that. Then for the light blue, I'm gonna mix this with a touch of white. This, oh, it's covered with paint, but is a color I use all the time. But I do like to kind of mix it. So that's what we're working with. Hello, pumpkin. Like, how cute. How freaking cute. I'm obsessed with them. I have to feed them around the clock every few hours, but it's worth it. Okay, you guys gotta settle down. Go explore this way. Ryan and Parmesan, not fans at this time. Okay, so here's how we're gonna do the palette knife situation. We need some paper towel nearby to clear it off. I'm gonna take 2 of these. Oop. And actually, I'm not gonna do this one. So we're gonna go right ahead with the light blue first, kind of like this. What's up? They've never been into the studio, so they're probably all excited. Because I know what a studio is. Okay, guys, maybe I shouldn't have brought you here. I don't know. They just had a lot of food, so they're energized maybe, I'm not sure. I might have to put you back, but we'll do as much as we can. So what we're gonna do is put paint on this palette knife right here, and then we're gonna swoosh it across our page. Artists don't usually give away how they have their kind of trade secrets like that, so it's interesting I am doing this, but it's not a completely novel method that I've made up actually. It's just how a lot of people use a palette knife, and I guess the trade secret is in the way I combine the colors and like the pressure and all that stuff. So if you're wondering why I'm sharing, I do feel comfortable sharing. Also, my abstract series, I'm stopping at 100 and we're at 90, so we're almost there. If you want one, let me know. Okay guys, I might have to move you, to be honest. I don't want to do that because you're so cute. What if we just, yeah, that's great. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Put a little bit of paint. Oh, my washing machine's done. Like this. Oh, okay, nope. Yeah, we're gonna have to move you. Oh, sad. Okay, well, this was fun. This was fun. I'll show you them again later. All right, darn, sorry. I'd really hoped that would work out, but can't be getting kittens stuck in paint, can we? So we're adding the colors we want. You can also mix off the palette knife, but as you can probably tell, this is just a loose kind of painting. Doesn't really matter about too much, and so I'm gonna mix it on here. There's also lots of ways to add this kind of creative element that we're using as the base for our Zentangle. So you could like spill some coffee or some red wine. You could, I saw someone say you could put acrylic and then put like plastic wrap on top and kind of smush it around. You could just do a big sploosh, anything you like. I like this method because I use it a lot. So the reason, I get this table dirty all the time, so we're just gonna leave that there. The reason you have the towels close is because once this starts to dry, it's very hard to get off. So I just boop, do that. Okay. So, oh, hold on a moment. I am going to put a piece of newsprint under this so we don't get paint on the table as much as we might. I often use the same piece over and over again. You can see the evidence of past works. I'm so not a thrower outer. Some people call it a hoarder. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we have our paint, just not smooth at all, just kind of chock-a-block around here. I'm gonna hold down on this side and I'm gonna pull it across. the paper. Wow, love. We get our same paper towel, fold it a different way, and then just get rid of all this. I find this part quite satisfying. And if you don't quite get it all, you can dip it in a little bit of water. But it's really important to do that right away, at least I think. Someone, me, didn't do it right there, clearly. And then it affects how smooth your press is with the next one, yada, 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 yada. Okay. So what I like to do at this stage is if this dries onto the paper, it's gonna be hard to take off. So I like to pick it up and then just kind of move it to another part so it doesn't stick down. Okay, I'm really liking how this is looking. We need to let this dry, and then we're going to go ahead with the darker blue. You can see lots of nice areas that'll be fun to trace. We have some really pretty blue, some pretty minty kind of, and some pretty texture peeking out. So lots to work with here. Remember, when we add the next layer, it's gonna transform. So let's let this dry. See you again soon. It's been maybe an hour and a half. I'm gonna gently peel this off. Bits do always still stick, but we got it. It was messy on the back. I don't know how that happened. I do that a lot. We'll deal with that later. Okay. Look at these really cool shapes and bits we've got. This like mountain range, all kinds of cool things. We're now going to do another layer. I think I'm gonna go with the, I don't know how to pronounce this, phthalo blue. Take off that. Put some on our palette knife. And then I want to just do a touch of this. It's going to be kind of hard to see, but I like having just a little bit of a something. Actually, let's put a little more here. I just love ultramarine. So we're then going to take our mini palette knife. This is such a good activity to do where you can like stack activities. So for example, when the first layer dries, you can be like, hey, now I'll do the laundry. Or, you know, just something where you can get other stuff done at the same time because there's so much drying time. At least I find that helpful to getting stuff done. Oop, didn't put my paper near me. Oh, it's right here. I'm gonna clean that one off. And this is totally dried now, yes, okay. So because we started on this side before, I kind of like to then start on the other side, and I'm right-handed, so we're gonna pop it that way. The paint's gonna get caught on whatever is more raised, so just keep that in mind. Gonna go here, get it really flat. Whoa, sick. I love it. Lift it up. Very cool. Okay, we're on to something here. Let's set it back down, clean this up. And I have this proposal I need to send off for a custom painting. Actually 4 proposals because we haven't narrowed down the idea. They're like 4 kind of sketch proposals. And I need to send them by the end of the week, and it's 3 p.m. on Friday. So I'm gonna get to those while this dries, and I'll see you soon. It is now Monday morning. This is completely dried, and we're going to start painting it. I just want to show you some of my favorite little parts. I'm so glad we did the textured situation because we have kind of like stuff going on beneath in these little islands, I guess, of or lack of acrylic. So we have these marks here from that fluffy brush we used. We have that a bit here as well, and some kind of blending. It just gives it like a little more of a layered situation. So now looking at our color inspo piece, we have this like very reddy orange and then a bit of a lighter orange. I think what I did is I mixed white and yellow with that. And because we're using watercolor and it's gonna be a very flowy, constantly dipping my brush in the water situation, I don't wanna mix a color, I wanna use something from my palettes. I think what we'll do is this is like a very orangey red. I think that'll be fun. I could also always try it and change it if it doesn't feel right. And then this, one of these two, I think. We'll see how it goes. And what I'm thinking is that in general, when I'm going around the light blue, I'll use one of the colors, and then when I'm going around the dark blue, I'll use another of the colors. But the sun is nice right now. I had such a nice chilled weekend, and I'm very yawning set up for the week. And I haven't even opened my laptop today. We're just going straight to painting, so that's very nice. I'm very grateful about that. It's first iced coffee in my little Ciroc cup. Where's the thing? What the heck? Oh, here it is. Never mind. Can't see it. First iced coffee of the season. Also, after this, I'm gonna tan on my balcony for about 20 minutes, and then I'll open my laptop. But a lot of what I have to do today is painting, so it's all good. Okay, let's get started. So I'm gonna put this to the side. We're going to obviously need a little water cup, little paper towel, and then I'm gonna use a very small brush. I'm using the Princeton Select Petite, Round Petite 20/0, which is super little. Let's move on in. It's extremely bright, and so I'm having a hard time seeing. Let's start with this island over here. And I'm thinking, I kind of want to do the orange, more orangey tone on this guy. Try and put everything in. So what we're gonna do, let's take the shadow off of that. What we're gonna do first is activate our watercolor. So we're gonna do just a little dance between these colors, this color and the water, and then paint around the edge. I'm actually was using the side of my brush there, which is just the best angle I had, so that's okay. But remember, this one does not need to be perfect unless you like really need that kind of exercise, which sometimes is the case. But we're just gonna move our way around the boundary of the acrylic, using that as our guide of where to go. You can go around these little dots, anything that kind of naturally happened. And I probably already said this, but I really like about these pieces is that I'm not trying to make anything specific. Like, what is this that we're making? I don't know. We're just enjoying our day, being creative. And you can make executive decisions on what you outline and not. So now we're getting to a bit where, also because watercolor is transparent, at least this shade, you can kind of, if it's really tiny, you can just go over it. And then you can always clean the brush and then like take it out of the middle. I do that sometimes. I think what I'm gonna do is all this color as opposed to switching to another one for the blue bits. So I hope you can see this okay. I cannot tell at all. Sometimes it ends up covering in the entire area, which is fine. But we're just gonna make our way around. And kind of I like to think I'm like a little leaf or snowflake falling from the sky, and just like every little bit is the wind kind of gently blowing me in another direction, and like I don't really care, I'm just a leaf falling to the ground. I sound like I'm blazed. I'm not, unfortunately, but that's I'm going for a nap. Much to my dismay, my phone just overheated and I didn't realize. So we missed a little bit, but it's okay. I've put the shade down in the studio. It's just so sunny in here, I guess. And we are back. I was saying I was going for that natural high feeling, which I kind of feel. Also, while my phone died and I put it in the fridge, Theo came over and brought me some banana brownies he made. So that was excellent. Anyway, we're back to going around these little lines. We're starting to see, it's cool to see the blue under the light blue under the darker blue. And we're gonna go around both. So what I like to do is just pretend that the acrylic is one and the same kind of entity, like it's not different. It's just kind of binary of like what's watercolor and then what is acrylic, and go around anything that is acrylic. So that is what's happening over here. So when we get to this light blue part, we're just gonna go around it like so. Just following wherever it might be taking us today. Go around these little guys. And then when there's a crevice like this is what I meant earlier when I said you might accidentally fill it all in, like it might be thick enough that we might not get any bit in the middle, but I guess we did there. Here we have an all white area with this blue, light blue, sorry, it's a bit confusing that I keep saying blue. It's because in my head there's blue and there's navy, but it's not even navy. I think it's, you know what, it's fine. Let's just say blue and navy. So I'm gonna go around the perimeter, just like so. Oop, went over the edge there. Doesn't matter. And then go around these little bits. This little dotted area, I don't know. Let's go closer if we can. I don't know if I really want to go over all those. I think they're too minuscule, so I'm actually just gonna skip past that, and we're gonna go up to this fun little area. And I think I'm gonna use this orange until about here on the piece and then switch to a darker one. So kind of like our own little, making our own little ombre. Okay. Start in this little bit, and it's fun to play like, what are these little shapes? Like this kind of looks like a dinosaur to me with a beak and a little bit of a way. There's also always the option to do this first layer, so like the outline of everything in the orange, and then go back with another color and do the like kind of Zentangle this orange line, maybe with yellow, for example. I don't think I'll be doing that just because I got a lot to do and that seems like it's really time consuming. But that could be a good, like, I love puzzles because they kind of take a few days and I have this like place of calm to come to. And this could be a good kind of place of calm you're making for yourself, where that would take ages and you say, okay, well, the next like 2 weeks I have this piece to work on. Could be kind of like a happy, safe space for you if you're into that. And if you do make it, please send me a photo because I've never seen what that looks like. That was a satisfying one. So here it's a bit interesting because the acrylic got quite thin and is almost a little translucent. We can kind of see the light green below, but we're still going to go around it as we have been. this in here actually. And if you mess up with these, did you mess up? Because what are we even doing? There's so many little intricate details in a piece like this, or I don't even know if it's details, but just like little bits that no one is gonna look at it and be like, oh, they should have covered that part there or not covered that part there. They're just gonna be like, whoa, you did that? Looks like it took ages. And you could be like, yep, I'm just a peaceful girl or boy or whatever. Doesn't even matter. That looks like a little Yorkie or some kind of dog. This would be a good place to put music over the video, wouldn't it? Probably. Let me know if you would enjoy listening to that. Also, the live is coming soon. I'm just planning when exactly to do it and all that, but that should be happening soon, for sure this month. So I'll let you know when that's gonna be, and hopefully you can join. I think we're gonna do rainbows. Another part of this, it's like just good for, I feel like this is just good for the brain. I don't know how to explain it, but is you can't really get too attached to stuff. Like I really liked how that light green was poking out, and we had to cover it, and that's okay. It was good for while it lasted, but it also, like, even if it's very low key, plays an important role, because now it peeks out just even a little tiny bit, I think. Okay, cute. I'm loving these colors. Now let's do these little bits. Do that. So if the watercolor goes on top of the acrylic, you'll know, because it doesn't really stick the same way, because it can't be absorbed like it can be by the paper with just blank paper or watercolor on it. So like there we have some, we'll go around it. That right there is acrylic. And this one, I'm just gonna do the outline and then see where that takes us. So it's mostly colored in, pretty much all of it. Same with this, we'll just come around. And again, I'm being super loose with it. If you're like incredibly, people get annoyed when I say this, but if you have OCD and you like really need to have it exact, you can totally do it that way as well. I'm just kind of more doing it for, let's have a look at how it looks so far. More doing it for the loosening up, but you can set your own intention and make it whatever you like. Okay, loving it. Now we're gonna do this big chunk here, and then that kind of is division of the page into this like heavier part and then this looser part. So I'm gonna try and get as close as we can. know if I'm gonna be able to talk the whole way through this because, well, a bunch of reasons, but mostly I don't know how many interesting things I can say, and also I'm trying to zone out myself. So this is kind of the first one I've done like this, so please do let me know if you think I should talk or put music, or you don't really care about the talking. I would love to know what you think. Pull my paint closer to me here. So these bigger blobs I'm gonna go around, but then these little kind of sprinkles, well, the thing is, once I start doing a few, I'm then like, oh, I should do them all. But, I don't think I'm gonna do. This is very sprinkly all up in here. If I'm not so sure what to do with an area, I'll usually go and do something that I do know what I should do, and then the empty area that I wasn't sure what to do looks much smaller. You'll see in a sec, because that is what I'm about to do. And then it just feels more manageable. I like to do that in life too, like do the easy things, get them out the way, and then it's like, okay, there's this one big thing, not 100 million things that kind of feel like they compound. Work smarter, not harder is my motto that I just decided. I'm going to turn the paper to get a good angle. I'm going to work on this little section. This is really looking like a map today of some lagoons or something. I feel like a mermaid would live here. I saw a meme yesterday that was like, I can't wait to mermaid this summer. It's exactly how I feel. Okay, so now this bit that I wasn't sure seems kind of smaller, you know? I feel like we can do that. That's there. So let's do these little bits in between. And I'm going over the acrylic a lot with my brush here, but it kind of distributes the watercolor away from itself, so it doesn't entirely matter. Okay, again, we're gonna turn this. I put this piece, I'd already said I wanted to do orange, and then over the weekend, or maybe on Friday, but whatever, I put this piece on my story. No one had seen the inspo piece and said, what color should I do next? And so many people said orange. That was actually the majority, so I'm glad that we're aligned there. Feels like it was the right thing to do. And before I even knew it, I'm now working on the tricky part that I wasn't sure what to do with. So I kind of find that I just get a bit lost in the process in a good way. And we're making great headway. So there's really not much empty space, empty being just watercolor below, but that feels about right. Okay, we really only have a tiny bit now. That's awesome. Gonna turn it again. You'll see I turn the piece a lot when I'm working on it because I want to just give myself the best angle at all times. And obviously, there's a lot of different bits going on here, which means a lot of different angles. I like when the color is juicier like this, so I'm gonna go over what I just did because I feel like it didn't have enough going on. Now it's a little tricky to see the light blue on the green, so we're just gonna do our best about thinking about where the colors are. And also, if we draw a boundary, the eye is then gonna think, oh, well, that's where it's supposed to be. So whatever. Okay, cool. So let's actually do this bit is just below that kind of imaginary break line as well. So let's have a little look. Do we want to switch to a new color? I think we do. So we're now gonna go, I see this as a section, this as a section, this as a section, and then up here and up here as little sections too. And I think for this chunk, I'm gonna take a darker orange, and then for the last one, we'll use this other palette in the ready color there, which is actually really similar to this. So it could go either way. I Again, I like to start at the bits that are very clear, which is right here. So, oh, actually, this I feel like is kind of the same below we were working on. So let's cover that. Boom. Anything else? No, that all feels above to me. Is that? Nope, there's blue there. Okay. So now I want to activate. This one seems a bit muddy. I must have used it with another color and not cleaned it out. So it's just a subtle difference in color, but I think especially when we do the darker one on top, it'll look like an ombre. Boop. I really love ombre. I realize I do that in a lot of my work. See, this has gone kind of translucent again. So we're just making the executive decision on where the lines should be, and that is what it's going to be. Because there's so many directions, like we could have finished, oops. Wow, I really do that all the time, actually, I've realized. I'm gonna wet my brush as much as I can and kind of try and dilute this as much as possible, and then take a paper towel. Okay, that's pretty good. As I was saying, we could have gone up this way or down here, and sometimes I find myself being like, wait, why am I down here already? I should have done up there, and then I need to catch myself and be like, whatever. It's where we ended up. We're just that little leaf. We're not gonna forget about it. Sometimes I really, I have OCD with like an intrusive thoughts and like that kind of side of it, not so much visual. Although I feel like it must pour into itself a little because so much of my work is really precise, but it's not really that. But anyways, my point is, I'm much better about it, but I really got to catch myself and be like, this is not something we need to obsess over. Like, it's all going to be good. I'm not going to finish. That looks like a little thumbs up upside down. I'm not going to finish the piece and just completely forget about that area. Like, I'm of course going to go see it. So I feel like exercises like this really help me just kind of balance out those thoughts and realize I don't need to obsess over stuff. I'm not obsessing over it right now, by the way. I just said I used to do that a lot more. I mean, there's a little bit of me that's like, what are we doing over here? But it's really easy for me to catch these days, where historically it would totally take over my time, and sometimes kind of like ruin experiences, but I am working on it. And I think my working on it is working, if you were wondering. The orange against this dark blue kind of is giving like deep sea. I don't know if they have colors like this orange down in the deep sea, unlikely, but that's the feeling it gives me. It's cool how the green just kind of stops in the middle of this one here. I like that. Okay, now we have a very satisfying part coming up because it's just this straight line with no little fluff. So I'm going to re-up my brush just so I have it as ready to go as I can and get the longest stroke possible. Go in this crevice, back out, go around this little bit. Can always go make adjustments, fill in little spots. And then now with this covering that we've done, we've kind of divided this into two parts. So this side and then that side, and I want to finish this side before we move on over there. It feels more compartmentalized and sensical to me. So we can pick back up from where we were over here. Now that I'm looking at it, I want to cover these little circles as well. Okay. Now this is also a bit we can do. Just gonna messily kind of go around this area that could be confusing. Okay, well, I like this a lot, but I want to fill in that a touch more. So now we have this kind of nice natural break here. So we're gonna fill in this, and then we can do these chunks inside the blue. So I'm gonna find the best angle, and I'm gonna start from right here. Can be tempting to go off and fill in those little bits, but I kind of want to do those all at one time so I can be like boop, 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 boop. So we'll keep working on this nice splotch in the middle. Here, here, here we have a few of them. Now we'll complete this section close to where we finished off. Over there. Oh my gosh, I finished White Lotus last night. Season 3 finale. I won't do any spoilers, but damn. That's all I'll say. It's a very good show. And now I have this void on my Sunday nights. If anyone has any recommendations what to watch. I'm also watching Paradise, and that's about as scary as I'll go, by the way. I don't want anything scarier than that because, well, especially before bed, but like, I don't really like having bad thoughts. I don't mind blood and stuff, but I do mind crazy people. And like trickery and deceit, I think, is scary. When I say scary, so yeah, any recs, let me know. So I'm gonna go around the parts that I know what to do around for sure. Whoa. Construction, I guess. like these, and then that minimizes what we have open. Okay, this bit is pretty sorted. So then we have this orange. These oranges actually look super, super similar. That's okay. So now we're gonna do these kind of bits, and then this side of this big, oops, sorry. These bits, and then the left of this big light blue lagoon area. So if you're seeing this as a map, do you see the acrylic as, so like this and this as the land, or the water, or something else? I kind of see it as the land. So for these little inner bits, I'm not even necessarily painting the outside. I know it's small enough that if I did trace just the outside, they'd touch anyway. So I'm more just moving my brush around it to fill it in. Like look, if I do the outline of this, oh, it actually didn't touch all the way. But for example, this one, if I were to do the outline, okay, again, it didn't touch. Typically, I can tell when it's all just going to touch anyway, like this one. And so I kind of just color it in effectively, as opposed to outlining both sides. Or something like this is a little bigger, and so this I will outline. Now we've come to this bit, and so, oh, let's do the, whatever this is. So we have this section, and I think I'll stop it like here, because that would be darker up there. So when I have a boundary like that, just to make it clear, I kind of like to do the top bit. And so I know that's my stopping point. And then our bottom stopping point, we obviously have, because we just did it. Sorry, my phone stand is on springs, and sometimes they just shake for no reason, and I hold them still and then they start shaking again. So I think I need a new camera filming setup situation. That took a while to get out. I'm kind of in the zone here, but let me know if you have one. So here we have quite a dotty area. I feel like that sounds so much better with the English accent than with an American accent. Dotty versus dotty. This splotched area. And so I'm just gonna really kind of generally shimmy my little brush over it and just give a suggestion of outline to the main areas. We have this little bit right here, and then this section is done. It's a little more tricky when the paint isn't raised, like the light blue really seamlessly went into the watercolor here, so definitely have to, oh, I missed a bit over here. Let's get, oh no, I didn't. That's on the blue. Oh well. It's orange now. Really have to make that up. So this is on the blue too. Deceiving. Okay, for our next section, let's do this kind of, it looks like a ram's head or something. Like here's the head, eye, nose, and then the horn a little bit. Not a ram, like a bison kind of. I'm going to go around the outermost perimeter on this side as far as I can and create that little boundary for myself. And then let's do this little bit while we're over here. This outline just makes it pop so much. Okay, now it gets a little more complicated, but I find if I don't slow down and I just go, somehow it gets done and looks great. So that's what we're adopting again right now. Then we're gonna go into this little, oh, I forgot the word of what these things are called, not points. Points is how many bits are on the antler. Antler, oh. Yeah, okay. We did it. This bit looks confusing to me, so I'm gonna go around here first. We're gonna go down into this little section we made. Swimming around the edges. Do, 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 do. That looks like a little heart. Now, this section that was unclear feels a little better. Cool. Now let's take a look at the whole thing. It's always a good idea to get a fresh perspective. Okay, so we're halfway, but honestly over halfway because there's more little bits on this half than this half, I would say. I do feel like using the other palette. So let's bring that out. Right here. And I reckon it's kind of a split here, right? I reckon we do this half and then we'll give ourselves this corner to do. So I'm gonna activate this color. And let's go back down. And start from our side boundary. Oops, my bristle kind of spread out there. Oh no, not the leaf blowers. I forgot this happens on Monday at this time. You know what we're gonna do is we're gonna pause this little video, wait till they're done. We'll probably feed the baby kittens and then we will reconvene. Okie dokie, where were we? This is a great little bit because it has this straight line down the center from the end of the watercolor. I love that. I love that each little puddle is different. So cute. This one kind of looks like a lolloping animal in some way. Oops, I shouldn't have done that because that wasn't even an acrylic line. That was the end of the watercolor, but it's okay. We'll just keep going. I love these tiny little ones. You can just fill in all the way. cute little corner. Okay, now we have this bit and then we're done with this top corner. Lovely. Okay, now we have just this bit. That's a good vantage point of all of it. I'm gonna start, we have the boundary of the top and the corner, which is lovely, and I think I'm just gonna start from this bit. So I'm gonna pull this aside and go from here. This is really cool how it's overlapped and created that texture. I hope that comes across on camera. It really feels like summer today. I can't get over it. I'm wearing a bikini just around my house. But it is ultra sunny in here, and I'm gonna tan on the balcony in a bit, so that makes sense to me. Now this is super dotty little area, but I feel all right about it. Flooding it with this red over here, but it's kind of cool. By the end, there are rarely huge chunks of just the watercolor. I guess we have a big one here. And then this one will be pretty big. Maybe that too, but kind of close in as we color. This is like a form of coloring, I'd say. Like filling in the lines coloring. If you haven't, go check out the coloring pages I have on my website. I have a few of different things like food and sneakers. I have a Zentangling one, and you can get a downloadable one where you just print it at home. And then if you want to like actually watercolor it and not pencils or marker, you can order it on like a nice watercolor paper, and then that'll be shipped to you if you need new activity. Okay, we're kind of going a little further into this bit than it looks like a little face, would like, because I want to get this part completed. So couldn't help myself though. We'll just shimmy around. Do. Oops. First cat hair of the piece. Honestly, not bad that we got this far. Really good, actually. The good thing about the baby kittens is that they don't shed because they're just too fluffy. They're not really on the furniture or anything though because they're just so small, but I like that about them. I wonder how long that'll last. I only have them for 3 more weeks. I'll miss them. They're up for adoption though. If you want a new little kitten, just get in touch with me. I mean, I guess you could just get one, but they're so bonded. It's so cute. They're like obsessed with each other. And so I really would love them to go somewhere together. But I guess going somewhere is better than going somewhere together if that's our only option. Okay, these little dots here, I don't really want to do all of them. Oh, I just got a text I need to respond to stat. So let's finish up this little bit and then I'm going to do that and then we're going to finish up this little piece. And then I have to go around my actual work stuff today, but I feel like I'm in a great place to do that because I had a delicious breakfast. I made these really nice breakfast potatoes yesterday that I'm gonna have for the week. And so I had that with scrambled eggs and my iced coffee. Well, I had the iced coffee after actually, but breakfast category, you know? And kittens are on schedule and I'm for the most part on schedule, so it's all good. We've set up with a nice little peaceful morning activity and it's gonna be a great day. Okay, pausing. We're now getting to this really cool bit, these little mountains here, that kind of have like a little shadow under them because we used 2 different types of light blue to make them. Can't wait for that, but first we're just gonna do this main bit. We have a cool exposure of the line down there. Hi, Ryan. Hello, I'm painting. A little choppy over here, but nothing we can't handle. Okay, so let's do them. Ryan, your tail's getting in my paint water. out with me, but you have to sit over there. Yeah, thank you very much. Oh, Ryan. Wow, RIP, I just had to remove him. That was my favorite part. Oh well, I guess it's his, I'm marking his territory, which sure, Ryan. There we have this nice little section, and let's twist it around to get these final bits. So, did I miss anything here? Not that I can tell. Sometimes I take the paint that I already have on the page as opposed to dipping back in because there's plenty. These little bits on the edge. Okay, that's everything I'd say. Let's have a look. This phone stand is just the death of me. I need to fix that this week. Hold me to it. Okay, here we go. Cool. Love it. Which way is up? I feel like this, which means we're gonna sign it right here. I think I'm gonna sign it in this white Jelly Roll pen. I don't know if this works on acrylic, so let's see. Works great. Let that dry. And here is one Fantasy Map Zentangle. Let's put it next to the inspiration pieces. So I kind of feel like it's this and this had a baby, is this. You know what would be cool too is another round of light green acrylic on top and then another outline. Not sure what color, but maybe I'll do that one day. Once I finished with my pieces, I put them on my inspo wall. Let me show you that. Right here, so this is stuff I'm currently working on or recently finished or I just kind of want to inspire me next, so you can kind of tell what I've been working on. We have a video of that one and that one and that one actually. These, I did all these a while ago, but they are just inspiring me at the moment, and I can switch it up anytime I need. So I'm gonna put our new one on there. I kind of have a lot going on, so maybe I'll do a bit of a refresh, but that's what's happening there. Okay, I'll see you next time.